Hello. Wow. Where is the picture? Uh-oh. Hello. Wow. Where is the picture? Can you guys all hear me? Hello. Wow. Where is the picture? Can This is so much fun, y'all. Thank y'all for your patience and understanding. We have been testing this thing all week, and for now, it's asking us to do so much, so many different things. Um, oh, am I visible? Can y'all see me? Wonderful. You guys, this is great. Because honestly, the first thing I wanted to talk about was like, y'all, work in technology. You would think you know it, but you really don't. Like, I'm happy y'all can see me. I'm having issues seeing myself. So hopefully, I don't look like a complete mess. Okay, there I am. I see myself. I look comfortable. That's always good. Yay! Awesome, you guys. Welcome. This is like in junction with the University of Southern Mississippi's Theater Department. Lindsay and I, we have worked really hard to put some events up just to like kind of stay connected as a community. So yeah, welcome, you guys. So we'll hop right into it. COVID-19, y'all. I've had a mood the entire time. Last week, my word of the day was "this is ghetto," but I gotta find a different word, because it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks because it hit so suddenly and it hit so abruptly, and like we didn't have time to like cope or handle with anything. Like decisions were being made, and we're just like, rah. Like, don't we have a say in anything? Is there a way we can fight this unseen enemy? So COVID-19 has kind of taken a lot of moments away from us. Like, I know I felt stolen. I felt downright robbed um, from my graduation, from getting my master's, from the show that I had signed up. I had plans over the summer to work, and all that was kind of like canceled. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and like more importantly, like the memories for me that was lost are like unpacking my office. Not in a hurry. Actually like putting the stuff in boxes, actually going through those little things of like, oh, do I really need this? Oh, you remember this assignment, so on and so on. So, really coming to terms with that was really tough because at first when like big situations like this happen in my life, I'm always the first person to like go into like fight or flight. And I always try to find a way that's immediate to combat it. And I always skip kind of coming to terms to what it really is. And that's kind of how I work. And I figured that out as in like, okay, something bad happened. What's something positive or productive we can pull out of it? While that part is valid, and I know that really is valid, I also have to know, which I know now, that later, Sheldon, it's going to actually hit you, and it's going to hit you hard. It's going to hit you really, really, really hard. But even though, like I've said in a recent post on my Instagram page, we've lost so much in a sense, we've also gained a lot of stuff at the same time. Like we've gained time. We've gained time, and I think that's one thing that I appreciated the most. But before I go any further, like feel free to like to comment. Like at any point you have a question, or it's like uh, anything you feel like commenting on, I'll read it out. I think everyone can see it, but I'll read it out so I acknowledge it. But yeah, lost a lot, but I've gained. Hey, but I've gained. I think I've gained a lot more things that were important for me in this time, like rest, like rest. Because specifically, I know as artists and as humans who are like, who are really determined to like fulfill a goal, it's one of those things of like we go 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 till we can't go no more, and we try to maintain and balance everything in our life at the same time. And sometimes we rest, and a little bit rest, CC, we rest. And sometimes we take a break, but it's not enough to like truly rejuvenate. It's enough rest to get back on the go again. And I think this is a moment that we're given to kind of like really rest and rejuvenate and recover from the hecticness that is life. um, yeah. Some other things that I've gained was I was able to get back in touch with some of my really good relationships with people. Um, when I'm on the go, like constantly, I realized because I was in work mode because I was in a pretty big show, my final semester in grad school, and it or Staya by Robert Ike. Bow bow. I was playing Agamemnon, plug right there. But it's a big script. It's a lot of dense like content. And going into that headspace for the character, and then going into that headspace of just like learning lines, and then on top of like we're having like a Shakespeare intensive. It was like my main priority was to produce good work. Like that was my main priority, and I didn't say friendship or like my relationships with people took a side, but like it was a moment that I really had to kind of focus and hone in on what does Sheldon need to do to be successful and to be prepared, because um, there's these weird pressures of like oh, you're a graduate student, you can't do less than you can't be subpar, you got to be great, you got to be awesome, and it's like, bruh, chill out. But so I hope I didn't digress too much, but in that sense of like I've gained time to like reconnect with my friends, because it was a moment in the semester I didn't realize that I never made eye contact with people for like 2 or 3 weeks. I was that much in my head, and so like I guess to kind of sum it all up, this COVID-19 has really blessed me with a time for like reflection. Yeah. What are some things that you have like lost, but like you have gained, at the same time? Feel free to type them in the comments, and all that stuff. I'll keep talking, but I'll stop and like read them because I'm so happy you guys came out. Yeah. Um. So like really transitioning and trying to find a sense of self in the midst of this time with family. Yes. Yes, maybe I'll stop and read the comments. Might be smarter. Yeah, time with family. Yeah, that's important. That's important. I'll be going home a lot earlier than expected myself over the summer, which is great because I wasn't able to make Christmas or Thanksgiving with my mom and my sister. So it's like, oh, I get to go home before like I move on to like the next thing. Who at this point, who knows what it's gonna be? Yeah. Oh, that's from earlier. Cece asked, "What about rest? It's important." Yeah. So yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Time to say goodbye to the thing that has been my life for the past 3 years. Yeah. A little context that won't give away like any like private information. The grad program that I'm in for theater is a 3 year program. A lot of people come from a lot of different places outside of Mississippi and kind of come in and lay roots and go to work. So yeah, Cece, it's been a tough thing. Kind of like just letting go without your form of closure, but it's a hard thing to kind of come to terms to. um so yeah, rest is good, but it's kind of become my enemy because due to the depressing situation and the lack of things to do, I have been sleeping 12 to 18-hour days and trying my best to get back to a regular schedule, but I just can't for some reason. And this only having limited characters is kind of annoying. Yeah, it is kind of annoying. We should just be able to get all our thoughts out. But that actually bleeds into my next thing, Alexander. Um, Finding a routine. Oh, like I didn't expect to have to be self-disciplined so soon. I was waiting for May 15th or 14th whenever we were done, but like I was not ready to have to like put myself back on a schedule. Katie, I feel y'all. While I'm not graduating, I am definitely missing the time that I would have to hang out with y'all in the office. Yeah, those are moments that are so like sacred and we cherish so much. Um, I think finding a routine. We kind of have to be honest with ourselves. It's like at the point: are we morning people or are we night people? Are we knock it all out in one go, or do we need multiple breaks? And I think this time is like a great way to like start to experiment a little bit about my experience with trying to build a routine for me is that for some reason, I don't know why, Lord, but my body wakes me up at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And like while my mind is awake and my spirit's awake and I'm attentive, my body is tired. There is not much I can do at that state at 7:30. However, I started to think of, okay, if I don't feel like getting up, what's at my disposal that I can do? And we always have this battle of like we have to be productive. We have to do something of value every single day. And the thing is, it's we're thinking of doing something productive and of value to other people's standards. You know, what I've learned in this time is like I value sleep and rest. That's important to me. So great job, Sheldon, for getting sleep and rest. You know, but with building the routine, just be honest with yourself on like what time you like to work, what time you don't like to work. It, Finding motivation to be productive, particularly working on my CP, has been very difficult. I'm losing muscle mass, and I'm very sad about it. Yeah, I'll keep chatting. I'll get my thought on. This is like okay, so this is kind of like reading and talking, staying interactive. I'll finish my thought, then go to that. Thank y'all for coming on this experience with me. Um, yeah, I found out what works for me is that I know that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays are usually my busiest days in concerning schoolwork. So what I do is like I make a to-do list. Um, it's like so like almost old school, but like so important at this time. And so like I make a list of the things the night before of like what I need to do, and it's like workout, yoga, send emails, talk emails, all of this types of stuff. And like how I do it and when I do it, I leave that kind of up to me. But like I do make a goal for me to shoot for every single day. And it's not like a to-do list like I have to type a 550-page paper in an hour today. It has to get done today. No, I don't put that kind of pressure on myself. If there's a deadline, I work to meet the deadline. But in this time, it's like it's so important to rest and recover because it's so crazy out there. You want things to be like somewhat peaceful in here. But like I make a to-do list. I work out in the morning, then I go to my Zoom classes that I have to do. Um, After my Zoom classes, it's like, okay, cool. I go ahead and convert things to whatever files that need to be converted. I start working on assignments, and then I have a cutoff point of like, I try to cut things off when it comes to like schoolwork by like 12 or 1 o'clock. And sometimes it does bleed, which is fine. But like there are things that I just know that I have to be consistent with. Um, but trying to find like motivation to actually do it is like I can't just say, just do it. No, no. People can say you have to motivate yourself, but like, but how do we like motivate ourselves? And I think it's a time like of this reflection to kind of like know yourself where you're at your most optimal time and when you're at your like least like optimal time. We're getting some questions. Let me talk with these. Tatiana, how do you think social distancing will affect live theater in terms of blocking and facial expressions? That's a tasty question. I think it's going to challenge artists to be more creative. Like, how can we show this intimate moment without being in the same room as each other or without coming into contact, of each other to communicate that? And I think that's the challenge that I think the the performing arts or any form of art should take on with stride of like, okay, ooh, there's an obstacle. How do I accomplish this? Like, I don't have a direct answer for that. I can say the fun thing about Zoom, if it has to be like a distance thing, you can definitely we can definitely like block like which way the people are looking so they could be looking at each other based off of whoever the director's perspective is. That's always a way, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's like we have to learn how to connect with people completely differently. Like that's changed. Before we can go up to somebody and say, "Hey, this is how I really feel." No, sometimes it's like you're having to write an email and you have to like make sure that your point comes across really clear, or you're talking to people through a device and it's like, I wish you guys were here because it's like I'm looking at myself in words and it's crazy. um so like I think that's the challenge that theater will survive, the arts will survive, because cliche as it is, earth without art is just so like art is gonna be just fine. I think once we rise to the challenge and tackle it, and we accept the situation that we're in and work from the situation that we're in, not denying it, not saying it doesn't suck, not saying it ain't ghetto or whatever, but like we have to acknowledge the situation we're in so we can work from there. Because trying to jump from like the letter A to like the letter like Q and not hit any in the middle, it's like we're missing a lot of steps. So it's like it's really important just to take our time, not to be so quick to like produce, because we don't want theater to die out. It's not going to die out. This is the time to like, yes, produce, but like produce in the avenue that's appropriate for the people right now for what they need. That was a long answer. I really hope I answered it. Geeky Gamer. Hey, Jen. This is a jarring first year of grad school. From moving from Alabama to Wisconsin to Mississippi and then moving closer to school in the middle of the school year was enough. Also, switching routines, schools, social friend groups, and finally managing my mental health. And then COVID slaps me in the face with a brick filled pillow. Bruh. Right? Right. And it's moments like that that make me think, how bad we can plan things out? Like, bruh, like we can plan the show's gonna go up this time. This showcase is gonna. That was my Bluetooth. This showcase is going up this time. Graduation's happening this time. This cookout's happening then. That cookout's happening then. And then God and the world are just like, you thought so. You thought so. And we're moving on. And it's one of the difficult things to come to terms with of, I had worked so hard on this plan. I had worked so hard on this plan, and for like everything that I've worked for, that I felt like I was on the right path or at the purpose, has just kind of like fallen through. But like I believe, and this is like a Sheldon personal belief, um, that as long as you follow what it is you love to do, like God, or if you use the word universe, or whatever your religious is, or if you're not religious, I think of like life or fate, as a way to really, regardless of what we do, we follow what we love, we'll end up where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing. The road there is not going to be easy. It's not going to be clean cut, but it's also, this is teaching us, I think, that we have to be able and willing to, we use the force, CC. We have to be willing and able to adjust, and we have to be willing and able to prepare like accordingly, because gosh, yo, and this kind of bleeds into like limiting news and social media. um, we have to prepare accordingly, just for not like big situations like this, but for life in general. Because if anything has taught us of how uncertain everything is, this moment has taught us that. Like, we think of graduation. Like, who would ever thought that graduation, the ceremony that us students like love and hate, parents love, family members love because they get to see the baby walk across the stage, would ever be canceled? you know like, that's something that like baffles me, of like, wow, I never would consider graduation be canceled. I would consider, like, myself not attending graduation, but I never would have thought that graduation would be canceled. And it's in that moment that's like, wow, nothing is really promised, nothing is really set in stone, no matter how much we want it to be. And that's why I think it's important to live moment to moment, and to really enjoy the process of life, of how it flows. Because when I think back to rehearsals, because we were like 2 weeks from Tech Week. Yes, now is the time to seize the day. We were like 2 weeks from Tech Week in my show, and for it to just be kind of like canceled in the way that we wanted to do it was kind of like jarring. But one thing that I can say is that I had a wonderful process. I enjoyed like a lot of the rehearsals that we had. They were hard. The bumpers that were hard were just hard. But like, I enjoyed myself during the process, and it's like, now when I look back, it was like, wow, I think that show, that moment, was personally for those people in the space to experience. And I think more so for me, it was more for, because it really stretched me as an artist. But regardless, I'm saying that, like, prepare and adjust and enjoy each day, like it's your last. Because if this has taught me anything, when I talk to people over the phone, it's like, I'm going to tell you I love you. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And we are going to like have like, I'm going to be as honest in this moment as I possibly can be, because I don't know the next time I'll get a hold of you again. Sheldon, what piece of advice would you give to students and artists who have found themselves dealing with the grief of lost shows? Oh, okay. So let me be honest, right? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be openly honest and as authentic as possible. So I was up to my neck in work, like right here, like my nose. I was getting like that much of air. When I initially heard that shows were canceled, there was a moment of, just so y'all know where I'm coming from, there was a moment of relief. I was like, oh, all right. We still got stuff we have to do as humans. We got to move on with that. I really wanted to do the show, but like, for the whole system of school and stuff to go to social distancing, it's like, okay, I can breathe a little bit. I can collect myself. But again, after that moment of Sheldon, like fight or flight mode, always leaning towards, okay, what can we pull from this that was positive, that was great, But then, like, when the idea of like truth of like what we're supposed to be doing and the reality of the situation meet, by week 2 of our special spring break, I was a mess. I was a mess. This was the first show that during the process I've cried like 4 or 5 times in 1 week. Like, it was getting all of me. And for it to almost feel like it's stolen away, yeah, that stings. That really stings. But I find solace, and this is for the students and artists who have had like, canceled shows or shows adjusted. If you were in rehearsal, um, cherish those moments, because that's what you have to hold on to. Cherish that process, because even with an audience, even performing it, because that's what we live to do. We live to inspire, to influence. That process is for us to discover, and those moments mean so much. And we would definitely need to like hold fast and hold tight to those moments, because that's what we have at the moment. And then also, like, the idea of like the show that was supposed to happen, or the rehearsal process that was supposed to happen, um, definitely, definitely, um, like, come to terms with that it's not happening in the way you want it to happen. Now, we as artists have a voice, and we as people have a voice, and we as people have the power of decision making. We have a lot more decisions that we can make than we give ourselves credit for. Sometimes the situation can make it seem like there's only one choice, but no, 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 no. There is always multiple choices and decisions we can make. But I say, take the process for what it was. I say, take it as a learning experience when you approach new works and new shows. Think about the balance in your life. You know, how much time and how much of me is going into theater, and then how much of me is going into other things that I enjoy. Because it's like with an audition, you audition and it's like, I didn't make it. And then you're torn up for like 7, 8 days, or like a couple of months. And it's almost like, I hate to say this. I had to tell myself this too. Like, I need a hobby. Like, while theater is what I'm working to be my career, because it's taken steps. It went from a hobby to a career. And when it's a career and a hobby, so that's 24/7. Your life is wrapped around this. You need to break that just a little bit. You need to leave room in for something like, oh, I love reading books. Oh, I love walking dogs. Oh, I love reading. I think this is a time to really take this moment of like anxious energy and put it towards another interest that can be accomplished at this time. Long-winded answer. That's Sheldon. That's my brain. I hope that makes sense. Um, how would you encourage COVID-19 patients to use arts to heal? Whoa! Tatiana, okay. Huh. Give me like a second. Don't count the second, because I know the video thing's going. Give me a moment. Better. How would you encourage COVID-19 patients to use art to heal? So, a little bit about my personal life. I have a rare blood disorder. I don't have COVID-19. I have a rare blood disorder called aplastic anemia with PNH. And basically, that means my body doesn't produce enough of the cells it needs to survive, like red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. And then my cells destroy each other. Um, I can say, and I've been battling that since 2012. Um, the one thing that I can say that the arts do, it gives you such a positive outlook. It gives you a positive outlook and an outlet on life. And it kind of, in a sense, takes away the severity of your situation. I can say that half the battle in any type of illness, any type of virus, um, is perspective. We pray, we hope, we want life, we want to live, we want to strive, we want to make it to tomorrow, we want to beat this. And I think arts have such a strong impact, because while I was going through my situation, there are a lot of times that I was depressed and laid up in bed because I couldn't experience art the way I wanted it to experience. But like when I was gifted to view it, to experience it from my position, I gained a whole new outlook. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, it fixed me, I'm cured. No, but like my spirit, I think that's what's really important. Um, again, whether you're religious or not, there is this energy that is inside us that is also important that we have to feed. And I think that's what the arts feed. And because we can't see it, it's difficult to quantify. But I think that's how COVID-19 patients can use art to heal. Hope that makes sense. That was a good question. Got any tips for people who are struggling with concentration and motivation? If you don't want to do it, don't do it then. That's me. That's me. Like, it kind of goes back to the thing of like, this is a time to figure out, are you a morning person, afternoon person, evening person? And like, going back to like, how can I get myself on a schedule that works for me? You know, I feel like we're at such an advantage as students that it's like, wow, okay, I get my assignments, I get all this going on, and now I get to set like my schedule the way I want. If I'm a night owl and I do my best work and I'm most motivated at like from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., bruh, get that work done then. If you're a morning person and you do your best work from 8 to 9 a.m., do it then. Do as much as you can then. And I think sometimes we overlook the moments that we're motivated, you know? Like, I have all this energy. What do I do with it? What do I do with it? What do I do with it? Again, not striving for productivity, but like putting that energy towards something, like, because even though COVID-19 is still happening, like life is going to happen afterwards, y'all. And we still have like a job and a purpose to fulfill even in this time. So it's like no matter how fast or slow you have to do it to get it done, do it. And do it to the best of your abilities given your situation. I hope that helps. Um, okay, so another topic that I had. Yay! I'm glad that was an answer that worked. Yay! It's like I can't see people, so it's like I wait for like responses if they respond to what I answered. So it's like, okay, great. Okay. One thing that I've learned through all this, because it feels like we've been here for like 7 years and 7 days, but it's only been about 3 weeks since spring break. I'd like to think, well, we're going into our third week of school. It is so important to limit the information that you get about this stuff. Bruh. When it first hit the scene, it was like, oh, I need to know all about COVID-19. Let's go. Lego. No, no. Like, while you need to prepare yourself, you need to also know that you can't constantly be obsessed with gathering information about something, if that makes sense. And from where I am, again, I'm speaking from my perspective. It was every day, 24/7, hearing something about COVID-19, something about COVID-19, something about COVID-19. People talking to you like, I don't think you know how serious this is, or like telling us all of this controlled media about the virus, because that's what it is. Controlled media about the virus, and it's like creating like a sense of like, I hope I use this word right, like mass hysteria, in a sense of like it's real. I don't know if I use that right, but it's like it's real, we know it's real, but like that doesn't induce us to make rash and that shouldn't make us make rash decisions, you know. And I think it's important to not just limit how much you take in every day. I think it's also important to make sure you're going to credible sources for information. That's so important because we can get 5,000 things about COVID-19 from social media, and then none of it could be right. And you're sitting there with all this information, sitting in your own house, paranoid about the virus. And I realized this when I was on social media. hmm And this medical professional, she stated that one of the facts about COVID-19 being able to live on surfaces for 3 to 5 days, she kind of debunked that myth for me. Because if you do research, and again, like research for yourself, that's what this is. I think that's what this is. Research for yourself. Viruses die. outside the body at a certain heat, and Clorox kills a lot of stuff. So for COVID to live on a surface for 3 to 5 days, it's like it started to make questions in my head, and then she went on to like some conspiracy stuff, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, what do I do with this new information now? And it's like it was like 1 a.m. It was 1 a.m., y'all. And I'm just like, I can't take this no more. So at that moment, because went to some conspiracy stuff, and I said, I can't watch this. After that moment, I set up downtime on my cell phone. If y'all want to know, like and subscribe to Eagle Landing page, and maybe I'll do a video about that. But I set up downtime on my cell phone, so I would not be on social media, so I would not be connected to the news from like the hours of when I would wake up from like I set 7 a.m. all the way to like 12 p.m. Because I think that's so important. Because I asked myself this question: what is knowing anything new about COVID-19 at 3 a.m. gonna do me? What good is that gonna do me at that moment? Again, my opinion, like it's almost like what good is information about COVID-19 gonna do for me at 11 p.m. at night? Like, like I know I need to stay up to date and I need to stay connected to what is going on in the world. So like I limit it. It's like, okay, great. I heard my COVID-19 fact of the day. It's really important to limit that, because if you just let it kind of like run and rampage, all over your life, you're gonna be, I don't want to say paranoid, but you're gonna be so tightly bound up, you know? And I don't want people to walk around making decisions off of information they received 15 minutes ago. Because I dropped the other day when I heard that Mississippi was like shutting down, in a sense, I dropped like $60 at the grocery store. And I came home and I was like, why would I do that? To know that like, we're in a shelter in place. We can still go to the grocery store and get what we need. It's just essential places are open now. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, wow, that is a prime example. Imagine if I made a more drastic choice in that moment. I can't think of like the consequences that could possibly happen. So it's like just be mindful of what you do, like limit it. And especially social media, because we just because like it can post a lot of stuff, a lot of jokes about it, which is great. Ha ha he he. Coronavirus is getting real. Yeah, but that's still COVID-19, like getting hit into your brain and into your chest and into your heart. And like it still kind of disrupts you in a sense. So like I would definitely recommend limiting your social media and your news intake. So yes, there are a lot of people saying COVID is a hoax, and some people say if you don't stay inside and seclude it. Do you think there is a health balance based on these facts you mentioned to live a normal life while somewhat being cautious for yourself and others? If yes, what are some tips to do that? Um, wow. Whew. Let me change my position. I don't think it's a hoax. I think I won't get like conspiracy or like government driven. I do think that the government, because it's a control of media, so we're only getting what they want to put out. But like I don't think it's a hoax. I think that there is something happening and lurking in across the globe, on a global scale, that is impacting people, and we're calling it COVID-19. I think that while like it is tough to be inside, like because I'm tired of looking at these four walls, y'all. I go to like I wake up, the bathroom, the living room, and I'm there until like 11 p.m. or whenever I go to bed. I'm like, I need a new view. I do think it's important to do your part. No one's saying not to go live your life, but be smart about it. It's just a moment that I think specifically right now we're supposed to be still where we are and like kind of come to terms with like ourselves, because I've learned a lot of stuff about myself these past 3 4 weeks, and it's like, wow, Sheldon, I thought we handled that. Nope, nope, we didn't. But I do think there is a balance. I think be cautious and be mindful of your friends who have an autoimmune disease, who are like really easily susceptible to diseases and getting sick. Kind of like me, anybody with like a cancer, older people, I believe babies. That's my opinion. That's not like a research thing or anything like that. But I think be cautious and like truly limit your interaction. You know, if there is one person in the area that that's like, I just gotta see them. Like, no one's saying don't do that. No one is like, we're not in a country that has we're not in a country that is going to have like, we're not in the state right now of the country that people are outside our door pushing us back inside our houses. Like, we still have that freedom to extend, but just be cautious. Like, protect yourself with a mask, gloves, keep the distance apart, still interact with people because we do need human contact, but just really be smart. There is a balance, but it kind of depends on you and your group of friends. I hope that answered your question. After y'all, all right, y'all. After this, we have more time for more questions. Okay, cool. Oh, um, slight thing. I guess I'll try to wrap up these last 2 points pretty quickly. Another thing I want to talk about was like my perspective on like distant learning and distant teaching. Um, oh gosh, I told myself I wouldn't use this word, but like, y'all just ghetto. I can't. It's tough because I found myself literally spending 5 to 6 hours looking at my laptop, and it wasn't for enjoyment, it was for like work. And I've discovered something about, because being a graduate student and a teacher, I've discovered a lot about the power of being proactive with your work. Before, I'm not gonna lie, we could get away with learning a monologue the day before, going in, doing it, letting the spirit lead us, but like having to like record yourself and like being self-disciplined enough to like get it done or get it in by a certain time, given your situation, is tough. So I think for any teachers or students out there, I always just promote, just like, be as proactive as possible, because we're in a situation that could change within 24 hours. And we've decided to keep the semester going and keep school going, and it's really an important time to think about your end goal, on why you're doing this, on why we're here in school, and is this situation change of from in-person contact to distance contact, is that going to change my hunger and determination for what I want? I think it's a time to also think about, like, like, I've questioned myself as a teacher. It's like, oh gosh, how clear am I when I give assignments? And then even as a student, like, did I read the assignment? I thought I did. So, and this kind of trickles into my last little point. I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I had it. In terms of like work, school, and if you're not working and if you're not in school, I'll say like house and mental management. We're all kind of in a survival mode at this moment. I do want to say this time, I say too, in this time of unpredictableness, be kind to yourself. Be kind. Don't put pressure on yourself to be the same person you were before this happened. This is a huge transition and a huge change for a lot of us. So be kind to yourself. Like, okay, I'm not motivated. Why am I not motivated? I'm getting upset. Oh, I'm sleeping so much. No, no, like, I can. It's easier said than done. But like, Sheldon is giving you permission. I don't know if you needed it, but I'm giving you permission with all the power I have. Be kind to yourself. Just be kind to yourself. I say work to make the best of your situation, and continue to find a way to do things with style and finesse. fight to make your situation work for you. And that kind of like summarizes that kind of summarizes everything that I've like experienced so far, like with COVID, of my perspectives and all that jazz. But yeah, fight to make your situation work for you, and but be kind to yourself in the process, because each day is going to be harder and harder and harder. There are days I don't feel like getting out of bed. There are days that I don't always smile. You can ask my roommate. I am moody. And that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. But like, one thing that like I just want everybody to do is just like, we're in a situation, do your best to adjust, but like I'm just going to repeat it again. Be kind to yourself. Don't force yourself to be what you're not at this moment, because it's going to stop you from being what you need to be in this moment. Yeah. Do we have any questions, y'all? I had tea this entire time and I'm sitting here just all type of like um dry. Yeah. Hope there are there any questions that I missed? Any questions about oh, what's the square root of pi? 3.14 and some other numbers. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This was scary. Oh, I'm still alive. It's fine. Not scary, but this was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Um, I don't know how this is gonna go. I have my notes, and I was like, I'm gonna get asked questions. Can I do this? But yeah, I can do this. Yeah, yeah. I'm asking the square root of it. Oh, the square root. Oh, I gave you pi. You see, this is why I don't study math. Okay, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and close things out. Again, be kind to yourself and fight to make the situation work for you. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna try to end the stream, so just like ignore any fumbling or like frustration in my face as I discover that. Um, like and subscribe the Eagle Landing YouTube page. Follow them on Facebook. You can find me if you're interested in following my journey as an artist on Facebook. Sheldon Chinedu Imba, Chinedu Imba, M as in Mary, B as in boy, A as in apple. And yeah. Awesome. Oh, and you can catch the recording on the eaglelanding.com website. Make sure you follow up if you ever need a reminder on this. I think it's just really important. Again, be kind to yourself. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Bye, you guys. Yeah. End. Okay.